Okay, so to give you guys some context, I like going on walks at night. No, I'm not talking about some like light, brisk jog in the evening. I'm talking about like 1 hour, 2 hour walks at like 2 to 3 in the morning. I do this because it gives me some time to like slow down and reflect on like how I'm surrounded by screens in the daytime. And also during the day, it's like too hot and there's always like people walking super slowly in front of you, just blocking the path. So I like going on night walks. The one thing I don't like about it is forested areas. Now, during the daytime, forests look beautiful. They look vibrant. They're cool. But during the nighttime, in the dark, where they're completely void of color and all you see is like the size, terrifying. I don't know why, but I entered a forested area and I had the feeling that something really bad was about to happen to me. Like this one night at like 2 to 3, I was walking in a forested area. I was just surrounded by huge trees and bushes, and I had the feeling that one of them was gonna come alive and attack me out of nowhere. And the thing is, like, if a tree looked like this, yeah, I can beat this guy up, right? If a tree looked like this, I don't stand a chance. Let alone if there's 2 to 3. Let alone if there's a whole forest of them gaining up on me. And I swore I was like hallucinating them like moving in my peripheral vision. But anyways, that was just to set the scene. Let me get my notes out real quick. So one night I was walking out to a convenience store to get myself an energy drink. And if you guys are concerned for my health or whatever, I did cut down to like one every once in a while instead of like a can a day. To be fair, the any I was getting on this trip to the store was this. It's like I only limit myself to 1 can a day, the 1 can a day in question. So anyways, I arrive at the convenience store and right outside is like some homeless guy. I let my kindness and my generosity get the better of me and I say, hey, would you like something to drink? Because obviously I have a certain amount of disposable income if I'm able to get myself anime figures, and I thought helping a homeless guy out is a better use of my money than buying anime figures. Actually, now that I think about it, that's a little debatable, but for the sake of hypothetical, let's just say it is. So I say, hey, would you like a drink? And the guy responds with, oh, no thanks, I have a coffee. And I was thinking, you know what? If I was in his shoes, if I was homeless, I'd probably be like greedy enough. Like if I had a drink, I'd probably still be greedy enough to think, yes, give me a drink, right? Not greedy, but you know what I mean. Like he already has a drink. He was humble with it. He was like fine with it. He wasn't like demanding more. He was happy with what he had. He wasn't asking for more, right? I'm just saying at this point, this guy was really humble and he was content with what he had right now instead of worrying about tomorrow, right? But then he kept talking. I could use a bag of chips though. What? So I was offering him like, I don't know, $2, $3 drink, and now he's here saying, yeah, give me a $7 bag of chips. But I was like, you know what? If I talk to him with the heart and the intent to like serve him, then sure, I'll get you a bag of chips. So I go into the convenience store waiting for him to follow me in, but he didn't because apparently he's banned. So I was like, are you banned because he tried shoplifting? And he's like, no, I don't shoplift. Which I think is also kind of telling of his character. He's a homeless guy who wasn't greedy with a drink, and he also doesn't shoplift. Yet he's an opportunist to asking for a bag of chips instead. Whatever, we'll get back to all that. So of course I say, hey, do you have any snack preference? He's like, no. So I go in, right? I genuinely had no idea what kind of chips to get him. But earlier in the day, my friend sent me this meme. And so I thought, you know what? Just as a reference that me and my friend would get, I'll give this homeless guy a bag of blue Doritos, right? So whatever, I get my drink, I get his chips, and I give it to him, right? He starts snacking on them, and we start chatting a little. Because I got him like the family-sized one, he did say, oh wow, you got me a big one. So at least he did say that instead of saying whatever the equivalent of I could use a bag of chips though would be to this situation. So whatever, he's munching on it. We start chatting it up, right? He said, what are you doing at this part of the town 3 in the morning? And I said, yeah, I think it's therapeutic. And I asked, how about you? Why are you here? And he said he has a place, but trees and bushes outside the window at night scare him because he thinks they move at night. So now I'm thinking, oh shit, damn. Yeah, now I'm gonna have to actually start paying attention because you know that meme where it's like when the homeless guy is describing how he got into his situation and it sounds eerily similar to my life right now. Yeah, it was like that because what he was scared of was the exact same thing that I was scared of. And it was like so specific that my ears were actually locked in, right? What I will say was a little stupid is outside the convenience store, it was like right next to trees and bushes. So I have no idea why he's outside next to them, but he feels like he's in danger when he's inside, protected by walls. But anyways, I'm still listening, right? And he tells me across the street from where we are, he sees 2 shadow people. And now I'm thinking, okay, so this guy, he's not joking. Like this guy's actually genuinely he's ill in the head. So now I'm kind of on my fight or flight, right? Like, what if he starts thinking, I mean, like, he doesn't know who I am, and I just randomly happen to talk to him? What if he starts thinking, like, I'm one of them, and, like, I'm actually evil? I don't know if this guy's gonna start attacking me or not, right? But something told me to keep listening, okay? And then he says, I'll just repeat what he said and you be the judge, okay? He said, if you look across the street, there's more shadow people, but if you keep going and look a little to the left, you'll see the dinosaur from Toy Story. And next to him is the sheriff. What? Now, what I'm confused about is the linguistics here. I don't even care that he saw, like, the dinosaur from Toy Story, right? He says, if you look to the left, you'll see the dinosaur from Toy Story. He didn't say, you'll see what looks like the dinosaur from Toy Story. He didn't say, you'll see what resembles or appears to be the dinosaur from Toy Story. He said, it is the dinosaur from Toy Story. So, that doesn't mean he's like, seeing something that looks like him, or even like a toy of him. He's saying he's seeing the character. So does that mean when he's seeing the dinosaur from Toy Story, is he seeing it toy-sized? Is he seeing it human-sized? Or is he seeing it dinosaur-sized? And if so, is it CGI? Is it realistic in texture? Is it... I don't know. Does he not realize that Toy Story is a movie? Does he think that Toy Story was like a documentary? Or did he think that Toy Story was like played by live-action actors? Did he think that Rex, after filming Toy Story, he came into the real world? I was just so baffled by his wording. And unfortunately, I didn't have all these thoughts until after our conversation, after I left. But the part that's even more baffling is how he said, next to him is the sheriff. Now, at first I thought he was talking about Sheriff from Cars because, you know, Toy Story's a Pixar movie, Cars is a Pixar movie. No, but then after relaying this story to a couple people, they said he was talking about Woody. Yes, I get that Woody is a sheriff, right? Sheriff Woody. But who the f*** calls him the sheriff? Either call him Sheriff Woody, Woody the cowboy, or the cowboy. Who calls him the sheriff? I don't think I've even said the word sheriff in my entire life until like the point where I was relaying this story. And I used to be a massive fan of Toy Story as a kid. And yes, it's true that Woody has a sheriff badge on him, right? That says sheriff on it. But calling him just the sheriff seems pretty counterintuitive on literally every level possible. Now, I'm not going to share like literally everything you told me and literally like every hallucination you've seen because I think that's just kind of disrespectful. I wasn't bringing any of this up to like laugh at him or belittle him or whatever. I just thought that like linguistics was interesting. So anyways, the next point in our conversation, I asked him if he believes in God because obviously this guy's seeing a lot of darkness and I firmly believe that Jesus Christ is the light. And I was trying to tell him, hey, if you're scared, if you're lonely, if you're in darkness, I have the solution to that, right? So surprisingly, he says, yes, I grew up Catholic. I used to be an altar boy until I fell out of it. And then I say, what do you mean by you fell out of it? And he goes, oh, I've been locked up. I've been in and out of jail. And now I'm thinking, now my ears are locked in again, right? Because I thought this was the part where the homeless guy was going to give some wise advice, like as an older uncle figure or whatever, going, you know what, don't end up like me. Don't do drugs. Stay in school. Stay in work. Be nice to your parents, etc., right? I genuinely thought this was where it was going. So I was like, I actually kind of want to skip this cutscene, so to speak, because I knew exactly where this is going to go. If not, I thought he was going to give me his story and how he ended up in this situation. And I thought he was going to start talking about how I should avoid certain things at all costs or whatever, right? But then he goes, they think I killed a kid, but I didn't. What? Now, the thing is, if you want to be a child murderer, that's fine by me. However, if I offer to buy you food, and I do, and I'm standing a few feet away from you to talk to you, that is information that I would like to have beforehand, not after. Now, in his defense, he says, but he didn't. Okay, there's a couple things. First of all, linguistics again. He said, they think I killed a kid. Now, that could really mean anything. That could either be he went to the park with a knife and he stabbed a child to death, right? That's obviously the worst case scenario. Or it could mean he was negligent towards like his own child. That's another scenario, which is obviously bad, but I guess technically it's not as bad on the totem pole of like morality as the other one. Now, to be fair, I actually don't remember if his wording was kid or child, but if he said kid, because he is an older man, he looked, I don't know, 10, 15 years older than me. Kid could really just mean anyone younger than him. Like, I've heard 50-year-olds refer to 40-year-olds as kids before. But the thing is, he says, they think I did, but I didn't. So, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if people genuinely think he did. I don't know if he, like, hallucinated and thought that other people did. But what he actually said aside, if you look at his body language, what happened was, he said, I've been in and out of jail. I didn't even ask for what, okay? I was about to move on to the next conversation because it was getting kind of creepy. He volunteered the information by muttering it under his breath, meaning that this was something he absolutely really wanted to get out. So that means that this is something he was actually thinking of and living with, and he just needed to get it off his chest. So I don't know, man. I don't know. The thing is, I think I said earlier that I don't think this guy's stupid. I think he kind of is a logical person. I mean, obviously, like, what he's saying is nonsense. But he was telling me about how, like, street lights across the street were, like, doing something called reverse projection. And he was explaining how they, like, project images to make you see things. Which, honestly, one could make the argument that he's, like, dumb for thinking that. But he was having difficulty actually, like, conveying the concept. So I said, like a hologram? And he goes, yeah, like a hologram. Which means that he was able to listen to what I was actually saying and integrate, like, information that I was saying and, like, combine it with the knowledge he had. So, like, he's not stupid in the sense where he doesn't know how to process information. I think he actually knows how, it's just what he's seeing isn't real. Because obviously intelligence and knowledge are two very different things. Sure, they have some overlap, but intelligence is how you use the knowledge that you have. For example, your knowledge may be incorrect, but you may be intelligent in the way you, like, apply it and integrate and relate it to other things. On the other hand, your knowledge may be correct, but you may not know how to actually apply it to things, which kind of makes it useless. So I think this guy's pretty smart. I just wish that his situation wasn't so bad. I will say, though, my fight or flight went up because when he was, like, struggling to explain what reverse projection is, I just said, I have a phone, I'll look it up. And he goes... He nudges me and says, yeah, just look it up. Dude, when he went close to me to nudge me, dude, my heart literally just, like, dropped. I thought he was about to kill me for, like, not taking him seriously or whatever. But no, he was chuckling at my joke. I don't know if it was even a joke. I just had to look it up. I don't know. Like I said, he was telling me he's, like, scared. He's really scared. So as I was about to leave, I said, do you mind if I pray for you? And he said, yeah, go ahead. So, like, I put my hand right on his back and he goes, dude, I thought I was about to die. I thought this was the end of EffMinus. I thought I was never going to be seen again. I thought my parents were going to receive, like, a phone call the next day from the police saying, hey, is this your son? We have his corpse. Come pick it up at 7-Eleven. But no, it turned out that because he was snacking on Doritos, when I was praying for him, he was putting the bag of chips, like, down. Which actually gave me hope because that means he was actually taking this prayer that I was praying about, like, light and not being scared pretty seriously. And he wasn't, like, munching, like, while I was trying to help him. Like, it wouldn't have even been wrong for him to, like, just hold the bag of chips, but he put it down. And I thought that was a very hopeful ending. But, yeah, I guess this wasn't exactly a happy, fun, la 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 story. So I guess I'll try to end this on a lighter note. I told this story to my dad, and he said he heard from, like, a pastor he listens to that this pastor also had a scenario where he was offering this homeless woman some bagel from a cafe, right? And the homeless woman goes, no thanks, I'd like an egg. And this pastor guy, he's mad because the bagel, I don't know, costs like 50 cents to $1. But the egg thing she was asking for costs like $7 and takes time to prepare and stuff. But then the pastor goes, you know what, because I asked this woman with the heart to, like, serve her, sure, I'll just get her an egg. And then apparently after he does it, the homeless woman starts talking to him saying, hey, because I've been homeless for so long, all my teeth have rotted. I can't eat hard things like bagels anymore. I can only eat soft things like eggs. So, I guess that's kind of like a lesson in a way. Like, if you're gonna help someone, just help them even if, like, they seem entitled or whatever. Because, like, after you help someone, I don't think you're gonna regret it. And I don't mean that in, like, a form of, like, altruism where it's, like, against, like, your well-being. And I'm not saying be like a nice guy doormat who's, like, a simp, right? I just mean, like, if you're walking outside and you see, like, a person with, like, who just scraped their knee on the ground, offer to help them. I mean, objectively quantifiable stuff like that. I think when you're being a simp, you're, like, looking for something in return. Whereas just buying food or drinks for homeless people is like, you're not really looking for anything in return. You're just being a kind person for the sake of being a kind person. Like, if you help someone who actually is in need of help, you're not going to spend the rest of the day saying, damn it, I shouldn't have helped that person. I'm just saying, be kind to each other. That's the right thing to do. Now, other than that, yes, like I said, I'm going to try uploading on this channel more. So I actually do want to start a series on this channel where I just answer your questions. So if you have any questions about me or my thoughts on whatever, like, I don't care if they're, like, personal or, like, yeah, honestly, like, just ask me anything. They can be, like, super random. They can be, like, metaphysical. They can even be controversial, ooh, or even just leave your own stories related to the videos and I'll probably respond to them in a video. I'm doing this so that I can involve you guys in my videos as much as possible. So this can feel like our channel more than just my channel, because I think that's kind of egotistical. If you guys are watching my stuff and liking and commenting, you guys are growing this channel. You guys are doing just as much as a part as making this channel exist as I'm doing. So yeah, if you have any questions or comments or stories or whatever, leave them below and I might get to it in a video. Other than that, this has been EffMinus. Psych.